All right, folks, welcome to the channel. It's always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. So buckle up, strap in, another hard-hitting pull, no punches, no sugarcoating it, no rainbows and sunshine. I'm just going to give it to you and give it to you straight. And folks, this is a warning. This is ringing the bell. This is sounding the alarm that we are in fact entering a recession. What comes along with a recession? Of course, distressed housing. What comes along with distressed housing? You guessed it, foreclosures. This is insane. So folks, we have to understand and understand the realistic expectation of a foreclosure wave showing up here in the US, as well as other countries. I know that we have UK, Canada, Australia, many other people in housing bubble. We already see what's happening to China. You know, their real estate market got red hot too. Now it's in a recession. So, you know, it's just the realities of what we're dealing with. There's so much to temperature check and heat map, whether it's gas, food, supply chains, you name it. You know, we overstimulated the economy. Anytime the economy gets into a bubble that exhibits the behavior that this one did, gas prices go through the roof, a recession is always followed. So, I mean, it's just the realities of what we're up against. There's just no sugarcoating this, as much as I'd love to. And I've read many of your comments, you know, saying just because, you know, these business or fans are just doing this, gas prices are going up, that doesn't mean we're, you know, going to hit a recession. Yes, it does. That's exactly what it means. I'm sorry. And I understand in the last bubble, I was just like many of the people out there today, you know, not really understanding what causes a recession. But today with basic economics, mathematics, it's pretty easy now to really identify that. So many people, I think, now are of the mindset, or at least have acknowledged the fact that this is a bubble, we're headed for a recession, but a lot of people aren't putting the type of weight on it that really we need to be putting on. I mean, the bottom line is, folks, is many people are going to get caught with, you know, with their necks too far out in this economy. What's in fact happened is many people bought in a real estate bubble, and when they got those loans, they qualified based on their income, and their income now has shrank due to inflation, so they no longer would qualify for the loans that they're currently in. So we really have to understand and acknowledge the dynamic that we're in. Like we always talk about on this channel, everything hinges on the housing market, the real estate market. If the real estate market fails, everything in fact will fail. And so, you know, historically, real estate cycles. So it should be just no shock to anybody that we are in fact going to have another real estate cycle. It doesn't continue to go to the moon. The scary part about this one is anytime, like we've talked about, a bubble has exhibited the type of behavior, meaning skyrocketed to all-time highs in a short period of time, they've never been able to sustain that type of growth alone. But then when you couple that with a pandemic where tons of stimulus money was introduced to the economy, pumping it all up with this euphoria, and then the stock market doing the exact same thing, all asset classes are, it'd be one thing if one asset class was in a bubble. We have them all in a bubble. This is a really scary one. I personally believe everything needed to produce a full-blown depressionary level of a recession is in fact in place. The perfect storm is out there. My channel and other channels like this are continuing to ring the bell and sound the alarm and raise awareness to try to bring clarity to some of this to people, just as basic as we can, because there's really no need to complicate this one. You know, like we always say, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. When you overheat an economy, you're going to have a recession. It's just the realities. So like I said, we always got to look at the three levels of an economic downturn, whether it's correction, recession, or a full-blown depression. And so because of the type of the bubble that we're in, the extreme bubble that we're in, you would have to probably give a lot of weight to, in fact, a depression coming. So as we look today at the potential foreclosure crisis and what it's going to look like, we have to understand when a bunch of people bought over 10 million in a real estate bubble, and a lot of people got lending based on their income, but now their income is shrank, so they wouldn't have qualified for those loans. They are in fact running on fumes right now. A lot of people may have won that house paying over asking price to get it, but now their house poor, their entire, you know, the majority of their income may in fact more than likely be going towards the house. And as their cost of living rises, I don't know about you guys, but even you look at the freeways today, the amount of people on the freeways forced back to work and paying double in gas prices and food, everything. This is just the everything bubble. So we have to understand that is in fact what's going on out there. So what we'll see potentially next is people have a hard time making their payment, and they'll start living on credit cards. And I can just speak from personal experience. I did the exact same thing in the last bubble. Bought at the height, Then a recession hit, had a hard time, making the payment, and then, you start trying to get light, wherever you can. And the last thing to always go is the house. The house is obviously going to be the one thing you try to, because you put so much pressure to get the house. Last thing you want to do is let go of it. Eventually what happens is acceptance is always the answer to all our problems. The sooner we can accept something, the sooner that we can hopefully do something to fix it. And so at some point, people will just understand the writing will be on the wall. I'm making a payment on a depreciated asset that I can barely afford. Now it becomes what to do. So hopefully you'll reach out to a real estate agent and try to attempt a short sale before you do some full walk away, from the home, and just have a foreclosure follow you around for years and years and years. Not that you can't recover it from it. And just so you know, folks, many millionaires failed much more than they won. I know from personal experience, like I said in the last bubble, I had to rise from the ashes of that one. I don't necessarily regret it. I certainly don't want to do it again, but I learned a lot this time. And so, when I see something that doesn't pass the smell test, like an overheated economy in a housing market, it's my civic duty to come on and sound the alarm and ring the bell and try to raise awareness so people understand the environment that they're in. So as we move forward, folks, insane. And final thoughts today, folks. I really want you to understand that this is, in fact, something that is around the corner. We will see foreclosures manifest. It's really going to be a matter of when and how many. But one of the things you can always do is, of course, just look and start seeing how many signs are popping up in your neighborhood. Once we see signs start popping up in a lot of neighborhoods, which it's coming, just so you know, like I said, real estate cycles, economies cycle. We've overheated this economy. It's just, I would think, as a level-headed realist, temperature checking and heat mapping everything they can, you'd have to, admit that this, in fact, is something we have to talk about. If we didn't, we're just burying our heads in the sand. Hope for the best, expect the worst. Hopefully we come in somewhere in the middle. But the reality is, folks, this is something that is absolutely going to happen. I want you to be prepared for it. I want you to understand it. If you're underneath a big payment yourself right now, please, like I always say, always check the property's rent range. See, even though it's not a rental, see what it would rent for. Your payment needs to match, be at or around that, because then it's an added level of security. You can always turn that property into a rental. You don't have to lose it. And that's, in fact, what I'd prefer to see all of my viewers doing. Start to, every time you buy property, check its rent range. Let's stack up some rental properties. My job is to take as many of you there as I can as we move through whatever's coming next. I want to see you guys safe on the sidelines, understanding, not scared or paralyzed with fear. And then I'll let you know when I'm going back out there. I'm only interested in investment properties. I could care less where I live. I want free time. I want residual income. I want to build wealth. And it won't be by getting underneath a huge payment for some home I thought was going to make me. If you appreciate the content, I humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave me a comment below. I would love to hear from you. Social media links are in the description of this video, as well as other channels I've appeared on I think you'll love. If you're watching from your television set today, another video is popping up in your screen at this time I think you'll enjoy, as well as an easy to subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count today. I'll see you on the next video.